Anyway, hello everybody, this is Todd, all things archery and shooting, and today we're going to be talking about my bows. If you guys have been watching my video at any time, you can see one of my most favorite bows is the Black Hunter bow. I've been shooting this one with a 40-pound limb set for several months now. And I've been bouncing back and forth between this 40-pound bow and my 50-pound old Stygian recurve bow. But it wasn't always like that, alright? When I started shooting traditional archery probably about 2 years ago, just to give you a quick background, I went and bought my first recurve bow, which was a Oregon Mountain takedown recurve. And the problem with that one is I bought it at 50 pounds. And I think 50 pounds would be easy because I've been shooting a 70-pound compound for years and I don't have no issues with it. But boy, was I surprised when I got that 50-pound takedown. It was a completely different world. I could barely pull the thing back. My accuracy was just terrible with it, and it was just no fun to shoot. So I put the bow down for a while. Well, 6 months or 8 months later, I picked it up again and tried it again, and still, I just couldn't shoot that 50-pound recurve bow very well. If you want to see a video on that bow, there's one in my channel here. Just scroll back in my history, you'll see where I've uploaded a video on that particular bow. So I said, let me try something different. So I dropped down to a 45-pound bow. Okay, that was a Farmington takedown recurve 45-pound bow. That bow I could manage a little bit better, and I shot with it for quite a while. All right. Again, there's a review on that bow also on this channel. You want to check it out. It was a 62-inch takedown recurve, and I shot it for I don't know, a couple months, 3, 4, 5 months. So, but I still could not get very accurate with my traditional archery. It was good, but it wasn't consistent. You know what I mean? So I was flipping through one of the YouTube channels, and I saw a guy said, "Don't get overbowed." I can't remember what that gentleman's name was, but I wish I could find that video again, but I can't. Anyway, he's basically talking about don't overbow yourself, and I didn't think about it at the time. He says most guys coming from compound like I was were shooting heavier bows, 70-pound bows and up. But shooting a traditional bow is a completely different muscle set than what you're used to using a compound bow. He says most people should start about half what their compound weight is. Well, I paid good attention to that, and I went out and I bought a 40-pound bow, which at the time I was shooting a 74-pound compound, and I really couldn't find a 37-pound bow. So I found a 40-pound takedown longbow, okay, which is this one right here, which is the Black Hunter. And the thing felt like a baby bow to me when I first started shooting it, but over time I stayed with it, I consistently started shooting it, and I got more and more accurate. You've seen some of my videos how accurate I am with that bow, okay? And that's because I'm not overbowed. That bow is a great all-around shooting type of bow for staying in if I want to do a lot of target shooting. Most of my practice sessions last an hour to 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours, and I can shoot that 40-pound bow all through my practice session without getting the least bit tired. And so my ultimate goal is I really wanted to get to at least a 60-pound recurve or longbow. All right, I've got a big hunt coming up this October in Utah that I'm going to be going on hunting elk, and I want at least a 60-pound traditional bow to do that with because it's going to be a spike camp, spot and stalk type of hunt. So I wanted something light with a lot of power, a good cast to an arrow, and I figured a 60-pound traditional bow would be the one for that. So I practiced that 40-pound. I got really good. I kept bouncing between a 40-pound and my 50-pound Stygian, and I got pretty accurate both of those. Okay, I got to where I could use my 50-pound Stygian recurve as well as my 40-pound longbow. All right, so hold on a second. So anyway, I was saying, yeah, so I was going back to my 50 and my 40-pound bow, all right, and I can shoot both of them fairly well. Still, my 40-pound is much more accurate. So I decided what I want to do, I want to go ahead and buy a new set of limbs for this Black Hunter. So what I did is I went out and purchased for these off Amazon for $69 a set of 55-pound limbs. My thought process was to go to 55-pound, train with it for a while, and move to the 60-pound limbs, all right? Well, I paid $69 for limbs from Amazon. They got here in about 3 or 4 days. These are the 40 pounds I took off my original longhorn. Now we got the new 55 pounds. You can see they're mounted on here now. As you can see the 55-pound listing there. All right. Okay, so we've gone through my background and my journey over the last 2 years to move from a compound bow to a respectable weight shooting traditional bow. Now let's talk about the limbs. Remember, these are the original limbs that came off the bow. These are Sino-art limbs. I found a supplier on Amazon that sells Sino-art limbs, which is what these are. They're $69. I've heard a lot of people that swap limbs out in these black hunters that the riser doesn't really fit correctly, it doesn't work real well. Well, when I put these limbs on, it was like they were made for the bow. There's no overlap on them. There's no, it fits like they were literally designed to fit this bow. This is crazy. I mean, they fit just as well as my original limbs came with it. All the sanding marks are good. There's no overlap. There's no gaps. I mean, the bow. The only thing different than these limbs and the other ones is the width of the limbs. As you can see, these limbs are very much about twice as thick as these 40-pound limbs. Okay, and these actually aren't just. These are right at 20 inches. These 40-pound limbs pulling at 39.8. I think it was 8.5 or 8.7 pounds. Just right at 40 pounds or 20 inches, so, but they're pulling double. Also, the reinforced tips on these bigger limbs, as you can see, that's a Archery reinforced tip there. This one here is about a third larger. This reinforced tip on this larger bow is about a third larger. As you can see, it's quite much bigger. Just so you get a better look at it. There, you can see it there perfectly. Stay pretty good there. It's got much more beefier section right here, and it's a little bit longer too. It is rated for fast light, which I have on here is a fast light strings on here. This is a 18 strand fast light string Flemish twist. I went black and white. I've got some rabbit fur silencers on it. Also got some brush buttons on it to keep the brush out of it. And I put a rubber protector on the end of the limb to keep from damaging them when I stand it up or on the ground. It uses a hair rest on it, okay, which I put on it. I like shooting off the shelf. This bow's actually designed to shoot off the shelf. It's got a nice little curve, so I like it so. And the grip on this bow is a medium grip, and it fits my hand perfect. Don't need nothing else on it. Only thing I'll probably do this bow, because it is a little slick when it gets wet for hunt season, is I'll probably get a small strip of skater's tape, skateboarder's tape, and just run a small strip down each side of that, just maybe a 3/8 of an inch, ½ inch wide. Just something my hand can get a hold to and hold on to, okay? Right down the line here, right? I've done a few of my other wood bows and it works quite well. The holes lined up perfectly. The pins lined up. There's a pin system and a bolt system. They lined up perfectly with this bow. The tiller is perfect, right on the money with it, and it runs an 8-inch brace height. Okay. All right, let's head out to the range, put it through the pace to see how fast this 61-pound bow can cast the arrows. Goal. I've been shooting the bow for about a week or so now. And it is a lot. Trust me, going from a 50-pound bow or 40-pound bow to a 60-pound bow, it's just a whole different world. And just to be fair, my 40-pound limbs pull 43 pounds and my 50-pound limbs pull 52 and change. So going up that 10 pounds in weight makes a huge difference. Now what we're going to do today is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to go ahead and get these. I already got it tuned where I wanted it. I got the right arrows for it. Now that took some doing. I had to find. None of my arrows were tuned for a 60-pound plus bow, so I had to make a new set of arrows, which I did. I built a new set of Porter for Cedar arrows, 11/32. They spine between 60 and 65 pounds. They're 30 inches long, and I'm using a 190 grain point on the front of them. Okay, so these arrows are spine right, and the bow is shooting really well. I got the bow shooting good now. Now today, when we're out to my range, we're going to do a speed test on this bow. The arrows I'm shooting are between 650 and 700 grains, so they're a really heavy arrow. So I'm curious to see how fast this bow will cast them. I know how fast a 40-pound is, which has always impressed me. So let's see how fast this one casts the arrows and sends it down range. Accuracy-wise, I still got a lot of training to do with this 60-pound bow. I can't shoot it I can't shoot consistently for an hour with it. I probably got 30 minutes before I got to stop. So I still got to build up my muscles to work with this bow. But I plan on using both my 50 and my 60-pound going forward. I'll start my 50-pound bow, warm up with that, then I'll move to the 60-pound bow and shoot the rest of my session with that. Hopefully by the time my hunt in October rolls around, I'll be more comfortable with this 61-pound bow. Also, just a quick note, anybody wants to go with me on that hunt, drop me a line in the comments. I got one spot open. If you're interested, drop me a line on how I can get in touch with you. I'll call you about it. And I'll tell you all about it. There's one spot left. It's basically a spike camp. It holds 4 people. I've got 3 going now. I need 1 more. So if you're interested, drop me a comment below and we can see, okay? For those of you interested in the kind of arrows I built for this one, this is a ones I built for to be shooting it. These are 30 inches long. This one weighs 600. I mark all my arrows. It weighs 681 grains, as you can see there. Uses a bright fluorescent yellow cresting, which is the vinyl cresting, the kind that you peel on, stick on kind. And it's using 5-inch shield cut feathers. I'm using a 3-degree offset on my feathers. It's got a bony knock on it right here. I like the yellow color because you can see it really well going down range. This has been finished with 3 coats of tung oil and 2 coats of poly sealer. As you can see, going through that target with that sealer, sometimes it gets a little dark, but that'll wash. Take a rag, that'll wash right off. They're using a 190 grain point up front on this arrow. But this is the arrow that I'm using with this bow. I had to build these specific for this bow because of the higher weight, 61 pounds. So I mean, that's the arrow I'm using there. All right. Okay. Okay. First ones we'll shoot will be these 360 grain carbon arrows. We get these a shot first. See how they shoot. Shoot 3 across the chronograph. I'm about 10 yards in front of the target, and I'm about 10 feet in front of the chronograph. Woo, 214. $212. 209. 3 more. 210. 208. 218. Okay, wow. Okay. Okay, I don't recommend shooting these arrows out of this Black Hunter longbow. So I'm learning about just over 6 grains per pound of draw length. So it's kind of light. You should run at least 10 pounds in a longbow. So let's see how the hunting weight arrows do now. See how these hunting grade arrows, these are 681 grains. This arrow, my arrows run between 680 and 700 grains. These are 30 inches long, 190 grain tips up front. Let's see how they shoot. Again, I am about 10 yards in front of the target and about 10 feet in front of the chronograph. 173. 174. 176. Pretty consistent. Let's shoot 3 more. Try it 3 more times. $175. 179. 174. Okay, there we go. Okay. Not too bad. 700 grain roughly arrow. Moving right around 175 to 180 feet per second. That's pretty decent. Let's try some accuracy now. We'll back out 20 yards and I'll be shooting for this spot here. See how we do with some arrows. All right, 20 yards. Okay. All right, that's 20 yards. It's about maybe an inch and a half low, an inch and a half to the right. Let's try it again. 3 more rounds. 20 yards, move it off to. Okay. Looks like I dropped one. I got 2 right where I need to be at. Let's try one more time. Okay. Alrighty. There you go. I got 2 right on top of each other. This is 20 yards and one maybe an inch away, a little bit high. That whole group is less than 2 inches though at 20 yards. Not too bad. Let's move out to some 3D targets now. Alright, what we got here, we got a jackrabbit. Remember, this is the place my hog used to be here that I shot in 2. And then we got a bedded buck there, so I'm going to shoot both of these and see how it shoots. 20 yards. 3 arrows each. Okay. Alrighty. The kill zone. I got 3 in the kill zone, 20 yards. Another one in the hot Florida days. Anyway. Okay, I got 3 in the kill zone, 20 yards. Let's try to do the same on this bedded deer. It's about a 2-inch group right there. I always have an issue with that bedded deer target. I don't know why. But let's see how we do today on it. Well, not too shabby. This always seem to have a problem with this bedded deer target. I don't know why. Mostly I shoot a gap, kind of instinctive type shooting hybrid system. I really got no reference point to go off of, so I'm sort of guessing how far out from the target I hold. So anyway, I still got all the kill zones. That's not too bad. Let's head over to the big Glendale target and give it a shot. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and put 3 shots on this target now and see if we can get in here. 20 yards. chronograph. Alright, I gave you 3 shots in the kill zone. I got 2 in the heart and 1 just outside the heart. So, not too bad at 20 yards. Hey everybody, it's Todd with All Things Archery and Shooting. I wanted to show you my Black Hunter longbow. This one I switched the 55-pound limbs on. As you can see, I had a complete limb failure on this bow. It literally just came apart on me. So, and I didn't get hurt, thankfully. It still held together, believe it or not, which is impressive, but it just completely, the bottom limb just gave out on it. So, this happened at the end of my test, and I was reviewing these limbs. It was right before I was going to finish up. I was shooting just 3 more rounds. So you can see a shot of me shooting straight on, and it just exploded completely on me. So anyway, that's it. So I've ordered a new set of limbs. I'm swapping these out. The manufacturer's going to swap these out for me. I spoke to them. They're going to swap them out with no problem. So I'll get those on July 1st. All right, I'm just thankful I didn't get hurt and nothing major happened to the bow. That whole bottom limb just completely delaminated. As you can see, the glue just completely peeled off. And if you look at it, it's missing a lot of glue on that edge there. Wasn't fully coated with glue. A lot of empty space on there. So it just completely peeled off. All right, well, I want to thank y'all for watching. This has been Todd with All Things Archery and Shooting. If you haven't already, please subscribe and stay tuned. I'll give you an update when I get the new limbs in. All right? And until next time, ciao.